a baby. Nothing in life prepares a person for the wonderful experience of having a baby. If you don't plan on having at least one child, preferably three, I question your logic and hope you retire very rich so that you have people around you that pretend to care about you for money, to look after your best interests for money, and you can leave your wealth to an institution or a dead animal club or some obscure, silly hobby or habit you've acquired in the selfless life you've lived. That's if the attorneys or your guardians haven't robbed you blind and left you penniless and homeless due to you having no children to look after your best interests. Nothing is guaranteed in life, and children can mistreat parents like they're strangers. Not that anyone should be mistreated, especially the elderly. Yet it is my opinion that those without children are selfish, like motorcycle riders or Corvette buyers. If there is no room for children or grandchildren, then what's the point of buying it? But I understand how the world works, and this is what makes it go around. I was amazed at the number of males at the golf course without their children. I never played, but I trained my son to place in about 100 tournaments. Imagine that. And baby is not a toy or a doll. It is not something you can buy at a store, then return it when you get tired of it or get bored with it or find that you can't handle the responsibility due to a realization that you bit off more than you can chew. You can't place the baby in a corner or on a shelf in a bin or take it to a designated spot in the country and set it off alone with a little food and water for it to survive on its own. Although, in some cultures, I won't reveal, worse is done. All of the above have been tried and none of it was done well of the baby. Worse has been done, and much worse things that haven't been done will be invented by the cruel, sick, and criminally wicked. A baby is a lifetime commitment. It never ends until the baby dies. New life being a baby should be held and loved, embraced, and spoiled a little. Diapers changed regularly as to not cause a rash, burped afterwards to release the gas from drinking a bottle or preferably a breast, depending on the mother's patience and desire to grow a healthy baby. Cow's milk should never ever be given to human babies. We aren't baby cows. My father taught me that long ago. Neither should we drink soy milk or consume any soy products. A baby should drink oat milk or almond milk. Never infant milk or any government-free milk for obvious reason. Any parent that thinks having a baby is a piece of cake will soon find out the reality of the situation. Most young mothers having free will sex, struggle with children because they are unfortunately left to raise a child by themselves, which is a disaster in the making, and the outcome almost always ends in disaster. Raising a mediocre child which turns into a mediocre adult full of anger and resentment due to abuse and neglect. Having raised 6 children and being a man, I know all too well what is required of a child and to raise exceptional children in Detroit. My ex-wife tried to warn my daughter about the world she was creating by having a baby. She said to my ex, "I got this." When my ex told me what my daughter said, we both laughed. She had no idea what was coming her way. A child requires 2 parents, but in today's world, the child will thrive or suffer through the cards he or she has been dealt. A child can and will be difficult at times and will seemingly cry for no apparent reason. I have 2 grandchildren and one on the way, which I am very excited about. My second grandchild, a boy, cried a lot during the first 3 months and was very hard on his mother, or it would have been if I was not there to help her and give her relief when things were tough. She made a bad decision in the father of the child not being in his son's life. He's a very gifted and advanced child. A good grandfather makes time and clears his schedule for his grandchildren, as he did for his children without excuses or exception. It was easy for me because I was and am thoroughly invested in my children's success as responsible good citizens and very well-mannered and disciplined adults. The crying went away about the 3rd month of life. My grandson could roll on his back at 5 weeks. Raising straight-A students is one thing. Raising a gifted child is something else. Some of the things he was doing was scary. I wish my grandfather had lived another year or so to meet his great-grandson. A child follows his developing mind, wants and desires even as an infant. Patience is tested, and that's where experience and true human love comes into play. A baby cannot be disciplined or yelled at. Allowing him or her to cry only develops insecurities and feelings of abandonment and, of course, eventual mental anguish. Child abuse is big business for the legal profession. Many people aren't mentally developed to properly raise children due to myriad of factors. That's why so many grandparents raise their grandchildren as if they are going to get it right the second time around. They ultimately keep repeating the same mistakes they did with their children, which pretty much guarantees that their grandchildren will make lousy parents or worse, and the cycle continues in a downward spiral. This spiral is responsible for the criminals running the streets, murdering and victimizing law-abiding citizens. A baby wants to be loved, fed, and its diaper changed regularly. If the parents can do that, then you're just getting started. A baby is a full-time job. All of my children slept in the bed with me. I slept on one side for 9 months, one eye asleep, and the other watching the baby. No, silly people. I would never roll over on a baby. I don't drink, and I am not a foolish person by nature or otherwise. In the winter, a baby should not be over or underdressed, never placed on floors, near closed walls, or near windows. Again, no cow's milk, no infant meal or government poison. Stay away from the prenatal vitamins and unnecessary shots. The docs are government agents. Let them experiment on someone else, not your unborn child. I am not going to give advice on vaccinations, but for me, I wouldn't do it again, and I don't suggest it for my grandchildren. I am just a grandfather, not the parent, and all I can do is render advice. The ultimate decision rests with the parent. From day one, I would count on my grandson. Every day, several times a day, I counted to 5 mostly, then sometimes 10. Hey, it can't hurt. A baby needs attention. He needs a finger-grabbing companion, a cuddling companion, and someone to stare into his eyes and love him or her unconditionally. I began his education early and continued it nonstop. At 2, he can count to 10, knows his colors and shapes. His mother is a teaching beast. I always check on my daughter every day. How's she doing? How's my grandson? Do you need me to come get him? I speak with him on the phone through FaceTime. When things get tense and the mother gets stressed, I'm on the way, not to save the baby from the parent, but to save the parent from the baby. The baby may need a change of pace or may generally need his grandfather, which it seems that way sometimes. The baby gets chubby fast and grows quickly. The baby is learning every day, watching everything and everybody, even those beings or whatever they stare at it in the upper corner of some room. They smile as if watching someone smiling back at them. If you have pets, get rid of them before the baby comes home. Full-grown dogs will always see a baby as prey, and they will attack it when you think it likes your baby. When you turn your back, never trust the animal. They are pets because they can't harm you. Would you try to tame a 9-foot-tall dog? No, you wouldn't. Cats are the same way. They are too small to harm you. Some groupers can swallow an adult male. My point is, we make them pets because they can't hurt us, or so we believe. Animals' breath it exhales is harmful to humans. Also, its anal gases. Its fur is not healthy either. Every parent is not a mother or father. Those are two separate things. In a perfect world, it wouldn't be. But this world is far from perfect. As I write these words, my grandson is here rearranging my house as usual. We decided to bring new life into the world. You must be willing to give up your life and give it to the baby. You aren't, then don't have a baby. Save that task for the humans that want the responsibility, the humans who want to reproduce themselves in the world with good people. The baby is very expensive and requires money, a good solid place to live, and transportation to the doctor. The baby grows fast and needs clothes constantly as it outgrows its clothing fast. The baby should be bathed daily using warm water tested by the elbow, cleaned with a baby towel and baby liquid soap, dry with a baby bath towel and baby lotion applied. Clothed immediately. Usually the baby is hungry after bath, then he or she falls asleep. Never leave your baby at a daycare until he or she can talk and communicate clearly. Many children abuse their daycare centers. In closing, this rant in closing this rant about babies is what it is. Take it as a warning, a lesson, or as nothing. But my opinion or my experiences, and yours may be different, it's up to you. The authorities take child abuse very seriously. As a landlord, I don't rent to rapists, pedophiles, or people convicted of violent crimes. I background check everyone, females as well, some of which I've had to reject. Very many males I reject for obvious reasons. The law may forgive, your God may forgive, but I don't. Many women need to background check a prospective sex partner. It will save a lot of misery in life, regardless as to what it is you only get out of life: a baby, a relationship, what you put into it. Most of us are guilty of putting nothing into a child, expecting the school system to perform a miracle. The school takes what you input into a baby and develops that much. That's all it can do. Failures are created in the home school. Schools get blamed for the failure of the parents and the family. Talk to your baby and feed your child knowledge and information. The more you put into a child, the more you get out of it. The end.